All right, Song Blue. This is a new, strange kind of biopic movie, and I say strange because normally when we get a biopic movie, it is not about a cover artist. It's usually, you know, a famous artist. But in a sense, we've already got a Neil Diamond biopic. I made a video about it. Check that out. I mean, Neil Diamond, you know, is playing himself in that movie, so whole different thing. But so I went to a Monday Night Mystery movie. That's what this ended up being. So I uploaded my review of The Jazz Singer. So I want to check out that review if you're interested in that. But now we're going to talk about this movie. I will say this movie is interesting. Like I said, it's about a cover artist. Um, it's got Hugh Jackman in it, and I enjoyed this movie. I wasn't really sure what this movie was gonna be because the thing is, like, biopics only really most musical biopics only really work if you like the artist. And here's the thing: I don't hate Neil Diamond, but I also don't love Neil Diamond. I'm not so deep into his catalog of stuff, and but I thought this movie was really engaging. Because first of all, this movie isn't like slamming you in the face with Neil Diamond track after Neil Diamond track. A lot of biopics do this. The Bohemian Rhapsody one, the even the Bob Dylan one to some degree. But for the most part, it is just the drama of this family. With the daughter having her own issues, Hugh Jackman's character, Lightning, and his wife, and they're trying to get back on their feet. Moments of triumph, failure. There were things I had no idea happened to these people, and I thought, and the emotions of it really worked. Everyone gave a really good performance in this movie, and I was most impressed by Ella Anderson. She was an actress on the show Henry Danger, which was a Nickelodeon show. I was a little bit too old to really be watching that show at the time. This was one of those shows that where my siblings were a little bit younger, so we had it playing in the house. So I know the show. I've seen episodes. I've seen her act in that show, and if you see her from that show, it is totally different. She is giving a real performance here that is maybe on par with what Hugh Jackman's doing in this movie. It's just great. And you could tell that this is an actress who's going to have a really good career, especially since she is so different from what you've seen her in before here. And I think that's really a highlight. And so I thought this movie was a very solid, enjoyable drama. It's not great. There's definitely a lot of pieces of this movie that are just kind of glossed over. Like there's a scene where I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say they're like hallucinating. And I feel like what caused that, I understood enough of what was going on, but I feel like there needed to be a little bit more kind of like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then also like, the goofiness of just stuff that's normally in biopics. Like, for example, like they're a cover band, Neil Diamond. They always start with a different Neil Diamond song than the one everybody wants, and then the moment that they start their concerts with Sweet Caroline. It's like, oh, it changes. Everybody loves them. I'm like, because you play one different song doesn't. It's goofy stuff. I don't know. I thought it worked. I thought this is a good movie. This is a good movie. Shockingly, not that I thought it was gonna be like awful or anything, but I just thought it was gonna be like a movie that I watched. I'm like, that was a movie, kind of biopic sort of thing. But it ended up actually being a pretty solid movie in its own regard, and I enjoyed this. It actually got me interested more in Neil Diamond's catalog and stuff. He is one of those artists that I think is very unique. He's not like an artist that I've ever loved. And I always will say this: when it comes to music, challenge yourself. If you're like, I'm not into that person's music or that artist, that band, that group, whatever it is, challenge yourself. Try an album of theirs. Sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to get your mindset. And because music is people's soul, recorded on like a record or an album. And music lives on after death. And this is one of the greatest examples of that, Mega. you know, there's a lot of great examples of that. And so when you listen in silence sometimes and just let the music overtake you, it can really make you experience something different. Anyways, that was a whole ramble thing. You know, but it's really powerful stuff. And I thought this was a great movie. For what it was. So let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.